NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. And let's go down to the first. Getting ready to get the tournament started. Frank, first tee jitters?
Oh, everybody gets them. That's the beauty of it. If you don't, you shouldn't be playing this game. Just try and think nice and slow.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. What's he need to watch out for here, Frank?
Those two front bunkers, Rich, the one that protects the left and the right. More often than not, you want to pitch the ball on the front of this green. They are the two to be concerned about.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Getting set now over the putt. Even par early on. Back to the action here at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. Second hole, it is a pretty demanding par 3, Frank.
Goal really is to just carry that front bunker or sneak it a little right of that and try and cheat it around.
You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Not quite what he was hoping for, the tee shot in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a green side bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. Par 4 third here at Bay Hill. This is a hole where you do not want to miss left. 434 yards and plenty of water.
Don't look left, don't hit it left, don't play left, don't go left.
Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Ryan Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward from there.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par. Even par currently.
He'll take par and move on. And now let's go down to the action at the 4th. Frank, when you get out of the gates, as our featured golfer has done, with a lot of pars, steady play, what's the mindset?
You've got to keep doing that, Rich. Just maybe get a little closer to the hole, drive a little bit better, work on the pace of the putting. Just little gains, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice a big difference in the scorecard.
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Frank, uphill shot. What did you like to do on a play like this?
The biggest thing really is to try and work on your balance. You've got to make sure you get through the shot and normally take an extra club.
That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
All right, so green side bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Pretty good shot right there. Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. 5th hole at Bay Hill. Frank, this is a chance to employ some course management as opposed to maybe brute strength. What do you think?
Yeah, rather soft par 4. No water here, but bunker down the left and bunker down the right. Pinches into that corner. So if you're a little wayward, an iron here is not a bad idea.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Headed in the right direction with that birdie.
Just sneaks into the top 10. It's a good move this week.
Frank, talk to us about the 6th hole here at Bay Hill. Intimidating to look at as
I don't want to talk about it, Rich. I don't like the look of the hole. It's too tough. It intimidates everybody.
I can't imagine what players would be feeling walking up to this tee box.
Yeah, stand there. You'll find out.
Good tee shot right in the short grass.
Second shot. Oh, this is heading in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh. Getting set for this next shot from the rough. What does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just a couple of feet. And with that, 1 under par. Frank, the good news as you come to the 7th after that beast of a par 5 is that it's just under 200 yards and there's no water.
Yeah, it's not as long as the second, but it's just as demanding. Very narrow entry into this green.
Headed for the bunker, I think. Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess the bunker was a little smaller than I thought it was. It looked doomed for that.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for Pop.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Solid par to remain 1 under. Frank, how about the 8th par 4, one of the more intriguing setups?
Ideally, you want to just work your tee shot away from that bunker. But this is one fairway you must hit because it's one of the toughest second shots on the golf course.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank. Super. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. Back in 1971, Frank, Arnold Palmer won the event. That was 8 years before he actually became the host. Beat one of the sweet swingers in the game, Julius Boros, by a shot.
Yeah, Julius Boros is certainly a name to remember and a rhythm that everybody would like to copy. But, in the mid-'70s, Arnold was just prolific. And he grew to really love and savor his own event. Once he put his name on it, the event just simply grew in stature.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Did the job right there. It's a consistent theme here at Bay Hill, if you can carry it 300 yards.
Bay Hill always favors the longer hitter.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Now playing the second here at the par 4.
This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Slight miss, and he'll have to deal with some of the heavy grass. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole from that spot.
Well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So, given that, that was a very good shot.
Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss. And a drop shot here at the 9th.
I don't think a tourniquet is going to work after that one.
Tough to watch. Back in Orlando, Florida at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, getting set for the second 9. Frank, how do you get off to a good start?
Well, Rich, it's one of the shortest par 4s really at Bay Hill. 3 bunkers, but as long as you avoid those, it's a great birdie opportunity. Well, it's going to take a good one here, considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
So a tester from 4 feet.
All things pointed to a good week. Birdie there, very important right now.
Playing some good golf. Another par 4 here, the 11th. It's just under 440 yards. This time, there's water looming left and then bunkers on the right-hand side. It's a pretty good challenge, Frank.
This hole's very similar to the third hole on the front side. 2 bunkers down the right side. Just got to keep it a little left. You don't have to hit driver here.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frank, that is nothing more than a punch to the gut.
Oh, it's cruel, Rich. Good putt and deserves so much more. Another shot added, though.
I mean, takes the wind right out of your sails. Nice par to remain 1 under. Frank, now we're at the 574-yard, par 5 12th. How critical are the par 5s if you're trying to put a score on the board here at Bay Hill?
They're crucial, Rich, because the par 4s are very, very difficult. So anytime you get a par 5, you've really got to take advantage of it.
So another good result, playing this one as it should be played, right down the middle, in the fairway. So after the layup, Frank, here at the par 5 12th, hit shot here, try to make birdie.
Yeah, just use the contours of this green. You can actually get to this flag a lot of different ways. Using one of the mounds, there's nothing wrong with that.
Superb shot.
Well, that's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. At the par 4 13th now, this is a hole, Frank, that requires some smart club selection. What are the options here?
Yeah, very sneaky par 4. That bunker on the right is 250 yards or so off the tee. So you've either got a choice to play short of that or sneak it down the end, which is about 300 yards. But if you try and be bold here and miss the fairway, that second shot, evil.
That's in the fairway. Par 4 13th, Frank, how do you hit this approach shot?
Rich, it's the first par 4 at Bay Hill where the water is actually on the right of the green, and that has to be taken into consideration. Just a little errant shot, and then you're going to be wet. So a little left of the flag, that's where you want to be.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Another one inside of 5 feet. Looking to make a move. This putt for birdie. And with that birdie, moves to third place. Frank, now to the 14th, a par 3, and how difficult is this hole?
Once again, very narrow entry into the green, so ideally you want to fly the ball a little higher than normal, make it soft, make it land a little softer.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Wrong time to be leaking oil here at the 14th hole, Frank.
Well, to state the obvious, too, that was very makeable. That's the one you'd expect to make more often than not. That's going to hurt.
Knocks that putt in for par to stay at 3 under. Frank, the 15th, kind of a fun golf hole if you can curve your ball. I mean, that's a huge dogleg to the right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much easier if you're a right-hander if you cut it down here. If you don't cut it, then make sure you don't run out down that left side.
Now the approach shot, par 4, 15th hole. Frank, break it down.
Green narrows up the further back you go, so the most generous place to land the ball is in the front half of this green. It's also the flattest section of the green. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Sometimes you get breaks, and he got one right there.
Yeah, I guess the bunker was a little smaller than I thought it was. It looked doomed for that.
Very impressive and on the move right now. We've seen guys through the years blow the tournament right on this hole.
Yeah, if you get a little too greedy here, you try and make eagle. It's sometimes with a good tee shot, it's an easy 4, but a 3 brings 7 into play.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway.
Second shot.
That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up.
Still snack, though.
Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
Just a couple of feet. Starting to make a nice move. 5 under with that birdie for the tournament. Frank, par 3 17th here at Bay Hill. How difficult is this hole?
This one takes your best tee shot, Rich. Otherwise, you're just looking at 4 or 5.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
And yet again, he has hit it off the tee and into the bunker. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face. So it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
In 2008, Frank, Tiger made that 25-foot putt right here at the 18th. Final round to beat Bart Bryant by a shot. Then again, for a second straight year, he birdied this hole to defeat Sean O'Hare.
He's had a similar putt there at least 3 or 4 times, actually, to win the event. And he's been one of the few players to read it correctly.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Frank, I hate to go negative, but let's clear a few things up. The penalties when you hit it in the water versus hitting it out of bounds.
Yeah, some people, that's a good question, Rich, because some people think they're almost the same, but when you hit it out of bounds, you're actually losing a stroke and a distance. For example, if I'm teeing off on a par 4 and I hit it out of bounds, I'm penalised a stroke for hitting it out of bounds, and I'm hitting my third shot off the tee. When I hit it into a water hazard, I don't have to lose all of that distance. I can drop the ball up just short of the water hazard. So the distance penalty isn't the same as if it was out of bounds.
This now the fourth shot after the last one was in the water.
Yeah, just somehow just get it on the green.
Can't make it, Frank, if you don't hit it.
Hubert Green once said, 99% of putts left short don't go in. I don't know what happened to the other 1%, but that's a big move. Double bogey. Two-shot swing, Rich.
Drops to second place. There you have it, Frank. First round is complete. What are your thoughts, partner?
Rich, I think anyone inside the current top 10 of that leaderboard is certainly well placed to go on and take this championship.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Its second-round coverage of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So the action is underway, and we'll take you out now to our featured golfer here at number 1. Stepping up to the first tee and off a surprisingly good first round. Let's see if our featured player can conjure up some of that magic here in round 2. Headed for the bunker? Just a bit offline and into the bunker. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or 2. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Getting some sand in the shoes now. For a second straight hole, he's in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Yeah, just a little splash out on this par 3.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Has his par. Now at the par 4 third, Frank, this is a great golf hole.
It certainly is. Remember, the brain doesn't register don'ts. So aim right, there's a bunker down there. Keep focusing on where you want it to go, not in the other direction. Now, this game is all about variables, right? Rich, if you head into a bad lie, it completely changes the nature of the next shot. When the ball sits up like that, it is just liberty of choice now.
Not looking good, Frank.
No, I think it's wet.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Standing over his birdie putt. Frank, that birdie will help the cause. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo back at the fourth hole. It's par 5, the first one on the golf course, and Frank, a really good scoring opportunity.
It certainly is. 2 bunkers down the left. Just want to keep it inside that. If you flare it a little right, there's a hazard that just sneaks up on you.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. The green is up above, and this will play at least a club longer. Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
You're just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult.
Doesn't dig into the lead with that par, but Frank, sometimes, and you know this as well as anyone, you just have to kind of maintain your footing out there. Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, what about this approach shot here at the 5th?
One of the few holes where you get a short iron in your hand for that second shot, but that green slopes away at about a 45-degree angle to the right, which makes distance control paramount here at 5.
Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Frank, you've navigated so many leaderboards in your career. This is the way to do it, isn't it?
Oh, there's plenty of holes ahead too, Rich. 3rd place, a really good position to be playing from here on in. Hazard.
So toweled off, dried off, and ready to go.
Yeah, let's hope this swing he hasn't still got the floaties on.
Third shot now, after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for. This has to go in that.
Frank, you've just hit one in the water. You don't want to compound the mistake. What's the mindset here?
This one right here, you've got to forget that big blue oasis in front of you.
Still going, and going the wrong way. This is the 5th shot after that previous one went into the drink. Tug that one a little bit offline to the left, and he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick. Well, you can gets he a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Oh, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
How far was that? That was miles away.
Well, after that beast of a par 5, Frank, it is time to finesse one up on the green here at the par 3-7, just a little under 200 yards.
There's a big mound in the middle of this green. The flag's above it, and then you've got to be really precise. If it's short of it, you can use that mound as a backstop.
This is a good-looking shot. And it generates some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Getting ready to tee off here at the 8th. Frank, this hole has it all. Dogleg, bunkers, water. How do you successfully navigate it?
It's such a pretty looking hole, Rich. That bunker down the left just sort of pops out and you see it. So you can either work it off that to the right, either that or just aim a little right. But be careful of those trees on the right.